Played another Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, but unlike with Final Fantasy II, I don't have a lot to say about it, so it gets the mini review treatment. Final Fantasy III is the game that introduced the concept of switching jobs for all your characters. You can see the growing pains of this feature before its Final Fantasy V redesign. Jobs are basically accessories you put on and they change your stats and battle commands, as well as what type of weapons and armor you can use. Every job has its own level, going from 1 to 99, and how that affects them depends on the job. Some unlock more moves, others just increase total damage and defense. Spellcasters still need to buy their spells or defeat optional bosses in case of evokers and summoners. When you ignore the job system, this is a very safe sequel that combines design decisions from the first two games and goes back to focusing on the idea of 4 blank slates of light chosen by the crystals to save the world. It might not seem like much now, but for 1990 JRPG standards, the plot involving a world ruined by a flood of light triggered by an ancient civilization was really interesting. And it doesn't feature any ridiculous time loop subplot or ghosts of the future past or collective amnesia to be complex. It's cool to revisit these old Squaresoft games and see what they were cooking before they became Square Enix and started enjoying the smell of their own far too much. This game does some weird stuff you don't see in other games for the series, like require using the mini spell to enter some locations and make you jump back and forth between two types of airships. Because of how the job system works, this game also punishes you for using a bad composition now and then. It's like every job has some kind of niche, even if it's something as small as thieves having the ability to unlock doors you need magic keys for, or Dark Knights being the best choice to kill enemies that multiply themselves. I like this. I think it's really boring when jobs are nothing but flavor and the difference between compositions becomes negligible. Why even have different jobs when that's the case? So I found myself liking the job system more than I thought I would, but at the same time it's definitely nowhere near as interesting as mastering different jobs to combine their abilities and traits, like Final Fantasy V, 11 or the Bravely games do it. Combining how jobs work with the Pixel Remaster explosive features like Encounters Off or Auto Battle speeds up the game so much you're going to reach the end in about 11 hours. Final Fantasy III has always been on the short side, but this version cuts down the grind a lot. If you ever feel you're stuck because you're undergeared or underleveled, you can just use the experience and gear boosts and win 4 times the amount and get ready in like 10 minutes. This is supposed to be one of the more popular Final Fantasy classics in Japan, but playing it now, it really feels like incredibly safe and not that memorable adventure in my opinion. So much so I think it would be the last Final Fantasy I'd recommend to anyone. Unless you choose your games by the quality of their soundtrack, because the score in 3 is fantastic and very memorable itself. The Pixel Remaster version of the soundtrack is god tier. No game benefited more from the arrangements than this one. I'd say play this if you want to play every classic Final Fantasy ever, or if you want to witness the growing pains of the job system, or if you just want to see what the final game of the Hiromichi Tanaka game design era was like. If you just want an old school, solid JRPG, you could do worse, but you could certainly do better than the Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster. Avoid the Steam version for now unless you like using mods. The Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 versions have more features. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.